Hey guys, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to the final Pracky game review for 2024. We took on North Melbourne, RSCA Park, and it's just wrapped up. We've walked away 19-point winners, 84-65. A little bit inaccurate, but nonetheless, we get the win. I've got Jaden here, as you know. We've got some slightly differing thoughts on the game, or at least we did towards the
I think it's
the end of the game a little bit.
It's still a little bit different.
To me, I thought we started very well. I thought we kicked a lot of goals early. We looked like we were the more aggressive of the two teams. North definitely came to be physical, I thought.
Yeah, 100%.
So many spot fires
100%.
around the ground.
Even in the first half, and I saw something that was, it was probably one of the more heated preseason games that we've seen, not only just this year, but, recent years as well. But I sort of like that.
Yeah.
For me, that's a good sign, because you want to get into round one, especially given that majority of teams have 2 weeks off now as well before round one. So you want to have a little bit of that, fire in the belly, contest to contest sort of work, and that's a good sort of curtain raiser for that.
Although, there is aggressive, and then there's probably overly aggressive and stupidity.
I was going to say stupid's probably the best word.
Yeah, we'll just kick it off. Jimmy Webster, probably looking at missing the first month of the season after he's hit on, I think it was Jai Simpkin, wasn't it?
Jai Simpkin, in the first quarter.
Left the ground after the ball was played. So many other options he could have chosen in that situation, and he chose the worst one of them all. Very early in the game. He's one of our more experienced players, our leaders, and he goes and does that. So not great, but it makes Ross's job a little bit easier with the back half. Probably just locks in Stocker. Bonner was outstanding. But that was probably the biggest negative of the game, I would say.
Oh, 100%. I think everyone even there would realise that was just absolute stupidity. The way he did it, so we obviously had Power Pepper last week that was, when he was going into the contest, made the bump, which is again an act that they want to stamp out. But this one was completely deliberate to bump. He's left the ground. He hasn't gone for the ball. He's braced his shoulder, to sort of save him. But
he wanted to.
In doing that, it's resulted in.
That's intentional, high impact.
I think he'd be very lucky with 4. Personally,
there's no way he gets 4. I think he gets more.
As much as as a Saints fan, I'd love for him to be as minimal as possible, because he's our number 1 lockdown small defender, especially against Geelong, Collingwood that don't have big forward lines. But I would be sort of confident to say 6 to 7.
Yeah, and then I guess the other, I just reminded myself, but the other negative is potentially Dougal Howard, who it looked like a cramp, but it may be a hamstring. We don't know yet, so we'll wait for the club to come out there. But I thought his form in the first half of the game was pretty damn good. To be fair, I think we can both just quickly gloss over the back line. I think the back line did their job. There was no issues there. I thought Naz, Bonner, probably saw less of Stocker in this game compared to last week, but Wilkie, who else is in the back half that did a solid job that I'm missing? Cordy was in the lineup, but I don't feel like I saw him.
I don't think Cordy played too much. Ari was featured.
Ari was good. He had some good moments, some nice field kicking options that, just makes our back line even more dangerous with ball in hand. But it was just more after the back half and getting it, particularly in the second half. The first half, you didn't notice it. We were good. We did our job. It felt like we had a clear game plan. We executed it. Probably the second quarter, we kicked 3 goals, 10. It could have been, it would have been
6-4.
a 10-goal margin at halftime if we had a kick straight, and we should have kicked straight. But the second half, the Roos, credit to them. And that's how they were against Collingwood the week before.
Yeah.
They're taking these games very seriously, and so they should. They're a young team that want to win games. These are the games that set that standard. They came out, took full, what's the word? They utilised full control with the wind and kicked 5 or 6 goals to nothing. And after that, it was a bit of an arm wrestle, but we finished the game strong.
Yeah, I think they sort of tried to play the conditions a little bit better than what we did.
Yeah,
I think the first half we were very much use the speed, use the hands, get it long, get it quick, and it wasn't just sort of stagnant movement.
No.
Whereas the third quarter, and we sort of mentioned it with each other, it was sort of like there was a little bit of a change of tactic.
Yeah.
Where
it felt it.
We know what we can do when we move the ball quickly, and just not stop.
It was the exit, wasn't it? Like,
But
we kicked a few on the full.
Coming out of 50, as you said, on the full.
Switching it a lot, trying to go back
100%.
and forth, but it wasn't really gaining any territory. And then, you know, on the flip side, you look at the territory we got for the majority of the game, and there were 4 players, I think, in particular. Darcy Wilson, first of all, round 1 debut, no doubt,
Locked.
was absolutely sublime.
Mm-hmm.
That first half, in particular, I think it was that second quarter, we were right on that wing.
Yeah.
He doesn't sweat, he doesn't get red in the face from running, he is just constant.
Thanks for the pun.
Huh?
Thanks for the pun.
Sorry, I didn't mean to refer
The
to...
sunscreen just didn't work today. That's
He
for
wasn't
sure.
red in the face. Is this? No, but geez, Darcy Wilson, we've got potentially one of the biggest steals of the last couple of years in the draft. I mean, this guy, not only is he good by foot, he's hard at the footy, he's smart, he uses it well. He chases, he creates space. He's always finding himself in 5-10 meters of space. And that's from just sheer work rate.
100%. And that's playing on a wing as well.
Yeah, that's a tough spot.
I'd love to see over time, and I don't know if we'll see it this year, but he has got the makings to be that explosive mid that we haven't had.
Absolutely.
Just out of the pack from the center clearance,
Go.
straight through.
Yeah.
And his kicking's very good.
It is.
I know he missed a set shot, which, you know, the wind, I'm not going to...
But there's a few that, like Membry on an angle.
100%.
He knows how to weight it enough for the forward to get to it.
And he kicks it, and I mean, even the first half, it was a lot of the ball movement was putting it to where we wanted to go.
Yeah, making the forwards move to that space.
Rather than putting it on their head and waiting for a pack to develop, and then,
Yeah.
you know, you're sort of outnumbered. It's unlikely that
Yeah.
you're going to, you know, unless you get a miraculous mark. But I think that's the difference that I've noticed so far in the last, 2 games compared to last year, is the movement of the ball is to where they want our player to be,
Yeah.
so they can continue going, rather than let's put it to where they are, and then they've got to halt the player, they've got to go sideways, and that allows the defence to set
Yeah,
up.
and then obviously he got 600 plus meters gained. I think Bonner got the most on the ground, over 700.
Yeah.
Nasai got a good 400 or 500
450,
probably on
yeah.
top of that. You know, that's 3 players there. I mean, Ari, if he gets a few more possessions, that's already probably 300-400 meters gained from his kicking.
Yeah.
But the back half, absolute tick, no problem there in the 2 games. Obviously, we'll see what happens with Dougal Howard. Josh Battle will come back. And then obviously we've got Cordy up our sleeve, whether Wilkie can go full back or we swap a few positions around. There is flexibility there. So fingers crossed Dukes is okay. But if he's not, I think we've got enough depth there that we can cover him.
Yeah.
In terms of the midfield, that's still, to me, the worry. I think we still beat them in clearances overall. Even centre clearances at one point it was 11-2, but it never felt like we got bang for buck.
It wasn't a
with the
dominant
clearances.
performance from the mids, I don't think.
Like, they got a few in the third quarter, and that was enough for them to kick goals, and the wind obviously helped, but I just feel like our effectiveness out of the centre clearance, there weren't too many where it was, you know, a chain of handballs and then we're into space and hit a target. It was scrambles and 5 meters gained here, 3 meters. It just didn't feel like we had any control. And I think Cherry beat Rowe.
Yeah.
Rowe looked like he was probably taking it a little bit easy. I think he did some nice things, but in the contest at least, I felt like he wasn't his all-time physical.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's just probably come down to, let's just get through this game. Forward half, Kingy was great. There was a passage where he chased, which was excellent because that's something that people have criticised
I
him
think there
for.
was a multiple of
a
that.
couple of occasions.
And I've probably been a little bit of a critical person when it comes to Kingy
Yeah.
and his second and third efforts. But if he's going to be, I think there was a passage in the last quarter where they were coming out at defensive 50 and he put a chase on, not for just 3 meters, but I think it was about
He
15,
continued it. He kept
15
doing
20
it.
meters,
Yeah.
and then resulted in a turnover.
Yeah.
If that's the stuff that he's going to do on a consistent basis, that's going to then elevate our forward line to be better.
Absolutely.
Give easier goals to Henry, to Higgins, to Butler, to Collard when he plays, and
Yeah.
it's going to open it up for him when it then gets to a one-on-one sort of aspect, because their defense is going to be like, oh, well, we still need to monitor Higgins. It's
For
not
sure.
just a one-man attack
Yeah.
anymore,
And-
which I think the difference is.
You know, in terms
visible.
of other players in the forward half, I thought Sharman again cemented his spot. To me, he is the best. He is our best third tall option behind King and Membry. There is no doubt about that. He's a lock. Higo was a bit quiet, but still had plenty of chances. And who else was in the... Liam Henry, I mean, he played off half forward, and I mean, he capped the day off beautifully with the goal of the day, and that was off the back of, you know, and he did that throughout the whole game, where it's 3, 4, 5, 6 efforts of getting to the ball, you know, just getting fingertips on a handball to deviate it from the target. He just does all those little things. That is, like what Jaden just said, you know, pretty infectious. Once one player does it, the next player does it, and so on and so forth. And I just want to make a special mention to Ronnie as well. I don't think I mentioned him, but he was the other player that had over 500 meters gained and 25 plus possessions or something like that. So we're getting, you know, we didn't have Sinks, we didn't have Crouchy. Steely by no means had a big day at the office, I don't think. Not from even just watching. But midfield's still a bit of a work in progress. Forward half with the right supply is good. And the third quarter, although it was a bit of a worry, like this is where we kind of differed a little bit. But Jaden's point was the method was there. We were trying to go for the right kicks, and in the right circumstances at Marvel or the MCG, the wind is not going to be as effective like it is at Moorabbin, a suburban ground. And I'm sure if I go back and watch that third quarter, it's probably going to feel that way. But it just felt like we allowed a bit too much, you know,
there was
too
a
much
lot of
space for North to just smash it in.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of high kicks, especially into sort of forward 50, where on a good day, it was going to travel, you know, to 25, 30 metres out, which is what you want, inside the V. Whereas today, it was sort of hung around that 45 to the 50-metre arc, and it allowed, you know, packs to form. And you can't take marks that way. You're going to get maybe 1 or 2 every 10, but that's, you know, on a good day.
Yeah.
And even coming outside of 50, they'll play in the boundary, which on a normal occasion, I wouldn't recommend, especially when there's such a blowy, sort of inconsistent wind as well. But if that's the way that we're trying to play, then they're sticking to, again, what a preseason should be.
You got to test those things, ain't you?
Let's see how we're going to go.
Plan A, Plan B,
way.
Plan C.
There was a few kicks coming out of defensive 50 where it was, you know, 45, 20-metre pass.
Yeah.
They got turned over. For me personally, I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
Because that's the intent. It was still the right play. The conditions just faltered that.
Yeah.
In a normal day at Marvel, where we play, you know, 14 games, that's a good result.
A good kick,
and then that allows Naz, Sinks,
overlap, break through the middle.
That then, you know, emphasises that first half where movement's key.
Yeah. So I think, like, we'll wrap it up there. I think, in summary, you know, the first 2 games, I think we got exactly what we needed out of it. We got a bit more of a flamboyant hit out against the Bombers where they weren't in great form, but we took full advantage of that, kicked a big score. And I think genuinely we got what I expected out of today in terms of, I had a feeling North were going to come, be really aggressive, be really physical, want to win the game. And I knew it wasn't going to be as easy as it was against the Bombers.
Yeah.
They got some very good players, North, so give them a couple of years and they're going to, you know, they're going to go places. But we were challenged, we responded late. Couple of maybe injuries out of the game, but minus that, I think we're pretty primed to hit the ground running in round 1 against the Cats in under 2 weeks' time. So on that note, Sainers, comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I think, some people are going to be kind of okay that we got through. We got the 2 wins, and other people are probably going to be a bit picky about some minor things, which is perfectly fine. We all want the same thing, and that's for some Saints footy in finals again in 2024. So thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe. We're nearly on 10K. I want to get there before round 1. We're only 200 off. So if you haven't and you're watching these and you enjoy it, please do. And I'll see you in the next one. But until next time, Sainers, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And as always, go you mighty Sainers.
Go Sainers.
See you guys.